guys, it's Bluey, and today Bingo and I are playing the Escape CATNAP's prison mode in Roblox. Hi, Bingo. Hi, Bluey. Hi, subscribers. This mode is based on the creepy purple cat from the game Poppy Playtime. Ready for an adventure? Of course. We start in a prison cell. Look, guys, CATNAP is guarding us. He looks so spooky, but I see a vent. I think this is our chance to escape. Yes, let's try to open it. We need to be careful not to attract CATNAP's attention. Come on, Bluey. I'll help you with the grate. Great, it's open. Now let's carefully crawl through the vent. Wow, it's tight in here. Reminds me of Poppy Playtime, where we had to hide from Huggy Wuggy. Exactly. Now let's get out of the vent and find a way further. I see a ladder leading down. Let's go there. The ladder leads us to a dark hallway. There are surveillance cameras over there. We need to move carefully and hide behind the boxes to stay out of sight. Okay, we'll take turns. You go first, and I'll cover you. Run to the next box when the camera turns away. I'm going. Phew, made it. Your turn now, Bingo. I'm here. Let's move on. Look, a door with a code lock. We need to find the code to open it. Maybe it's hidden somewhere? Over there on the table, there's something. Looks like a note. Yes, it's the code 4251. Let's try entering it into the lock. Awesome. The door opened, but it's not over yet. There's a maze with laser traps ahead. We need to carefully navigate through them without touching. We'll jump and crawl. You go first and I'll follow. Stick to the right side. The lasers are less frequent there. I made it. Your turn now, Bluey. Be careful. We have an incredible story about how we met the Tooth Fairy, who looks like the CATNAP Fairy yesterday. This story is just unbelievable. It all started yesterday evening when I lost my first tooth. Exactly. You put it under your pillow, as kids always do, expecting to find a coin in the morning. But instead, you found a strange note under your pillow. Yes, the note had a drawing of CATNAP's face and it said, "Please help me." We immediately knew this wasn't an ordinary tooth fairy. We decided we needed to find out what was going on. We followed the directions from the note, which led us to an old house on the outskirts of town. It was surrounded by purple lights, and inside it was dark and mysterious. As soon as we entered, we were greeted by the real CATNAP Fairy. She was tiny with purple wings, glowing eyes, and a tail. She told us that her magic dust had been stolen by an evil wizard, and now she couldn't perform her duties as the Tooth Fairy. She asked us to help retrieve her magic dust. We agreed and received a map pointing to the wizard's lair. The journey was full of adventures and dangers. We had to go through a dark forest filled with magical traps. We jumped over chasms, avoided magical nets, and even encountered some strange creatures that tried to stop us. We reached a river that we needed to cross. Dangerous creatures were swimming there, but we found an old boat and made it to the other side. On the other side stood the wizard's huge castle. Inside the castle, there were labyrinths, enchanted doors, and hostile guards. We used all our skills and cleverness to get through all the obstacles. Finally, we reached the heart of the castle where the wizard was hiding the magic dust. He was very powerful and tried to use the dust against us, but we were prepared. I distracted him, and you, Bingo, managed to grab the dust and return it to the CATNAP Fairy. As soon as the fairy got her dust back, she regained her strength and neutralized the wizard. She thanked us for our help and promised that kids would receive their coins for lost teeth again. It was an amazing adventure, and we proved once again that together we can handle any threat. Now we have a new friend, the CATNAP Tooth Fairy. 3 days ago, we embarked on a jungle expedition. This expedition was amazing! We ventured deep into the jungle where we had to survive for an entire week. Let's tell everyone how it went. We started our journey early in the morning as the sun was just rising. We packed our backpacks full of supplies and set off. The jungle was simply breathtaking. Towering trees, dense vines, and a symphony of different sounds. Yes, on the very first day, we encountered many different animals. We saw colorful parrots, playful monkeys, and even a few sloths hanging from branches. It was incredible to observe all these animals in their natural habitat. But soon, we faced our first challenges. We had to find a place to set up camp, where we could pitch our tents and build a fire. We chose a small clearing by the river where it was safe and had enough space. In the evening, we built a campfire and cooked dinner. But at night, the jungle truly came alive. We heard many strange sounds, and once, we even saw glowing eyes in the bushes. It was a bit scary, but we managed. On the second day, we went exploring the surroundings. We found a waterfall and decided to take a refreshing swim in the cool water. There were plenty of fish and even little turtles. We also gathered some edible fruits and berries for our lunch. Midday brought us another challenge, a heavy rainstorm. We had to quickly construct a shelter from bamboo and leaves to stay dry. It was a good survival lesson. On the third day, we ventured deeper into the jungle. We encountered more animals, tapirs, jaguars, and even a pack of wild boars. We had to be very cautious and avoid drawing their attention. At one point, we heard a strange noise. It turned out to be a river teeming with crocodiles. We had to find another way to cross to the other side. We discovered an old, fallen bridge and carefully made our way across it. By the evening of the third day, we returned to our campsite. We were tired but satisfied. We learned a lot during these days, how to build shelters, forage for food, and navigate through the jungle. On the fourth day of our expedition, we continued exploring the jungle. We found several berry bushes, gathered some wild mangoes, and even found a tree with some fruit in it. We want to share an incredible story about our latest adventure at a party. Hi, Bingo. Let's tell everyone what happened.
A week ago, we went to our friend's birthday party. It was at a cozy house in the countryside with a beautiful garden and a warm atmosphere. We gathered together to celebrate and have fun.
Everything was great until strange things started happening. One of the guests, who looked like a scientist, began acting weird and disappeared from sight. We heard noises coming from the garden and went to check it out.
When we went outside, we discovered the garden was filled with robots, clearly created by that scientist. They were programmed to capture anyone in their path.
We were shocked, but we didn't just sit there. We decided to team up with the other guests to come up with a rescue plan. We found some tools and started creating barriers and traps to slow down the robots.
We managed to hold out in the garden long enough to call for help and signal our friends. They arrived in police cars and helped us push the robots out of the garden. Eventually, the scientist was arrested, and the robots were taken for research.
It was a real test for all of us, but thanks to our teamwork and determination, we ensured everyone's safety at the party. We learned how to work together, solve problems, and stay calm in tough situations.
Thanks, friends, for following our adventure. Get ready for more stories and adventures on our channel. Subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss the next exciting stories.
At the end, we have a showdown with the main boss, so be sure to watch and find out which cartoon is stronger, ours or CATNAP's. I wonder if CATNAP exists in reality? I've seen a few videos on YouTube where CATNAP looked real, and I was in total shock.
I think CATNAP exists. I often can't fall asleep, but then CATNAP comes and releases his red sleeping gas, and I sleep like a baby. CATNAP isn't a villain at all. He just wants everyone to get a good night's sleep.
Bingo! Do you remember that creepy night when we encountered CATNAP?
Oh yes, how could I forget? It all started 2 weeks ago.
We were walking home after an evening stroll and were almost home when we noticed a strange light in the old abandoned house on the corner of our street. Do you remember how we decided to check it out?
Of course I remember. We thought someone was playing a prank or maybe got lost. But as we got closer, the light started to dim, and we heard a strange meowing sound.
Yeah, it was a really eerie meow. It didn't sound like it came from a normal cat, but something much more sinister. We decided to peek inside, and that's when we saw him, CATNAP. He was sitting in the middle of the room, staring at us with his glowing eyes.
He was purple and looked nothing like a regular cat. His eyes glowed in the dark, and he had a menacing grin on his face. He slowly approached us, and we realized he wasn't just a cat.
We tried to run, but the doors suddenly slammed shut, trapping us inside. CATNAP started circling us, making those creepy sounds. We didn't know what to do, but we had to find a way out.
Do you remember finding that old diary on the table? It had entries from some scientist who talked about CATNAP being the result of his experiments. He was trying to create the perfect guardian for his home, but something went horribly wrong, and CATNAP became a terrifying creature.
Yes, the diary mentioned that the only way to neutralize CATNAP was to use an ancient amulet hidden in the house. We realized we had no choice but to find that amulet.
We started searching the house for the amulet. We went through dark hallways filled with cobwebs and strange noises. In one of the rooms, we found an old chest, and luckily, the amulet was inside.
As soon as we grabbed the amulet, CATNAP became even more aggressive. He tried to stop us, but the amulet glowed brightly and scared him away. We ran to the door and finally managed to open it.
When we ran out of the house, the amulet stopped glowing and CATNAP was left inside, trapped in his home. We made it back home, but we couldn't sleep all night, talking about what had happened.
We told our parents about it, but they didn't believe us. They said it was just our imagination, but we know what really happened. Bingo, look! The Titan CATNAP is approaching! He's huge!
I see him, Bluey. He's almost here. What are we going to do?
We need to use the cannon. Do you see how his arms are glowing? We have to shoot directly at them to weaken him.
Okay, I'll load the cannon and you aim. Let's hurry. He's already close.
Load the first cannon. I'm getting ready to fire. Firing!
Great, you hit his right arm. It's starting to spark. Let's do it again, Bluey.
Reload. Here we go. Aiming. Firing!
Wow.
Exactly, Bingo. Always happy to work together and defeat evil. Let's head home and tell everyone about our victory.
Thank you all for watching and see you soon.